This will defend.
Fly Army.
Above the best.
Good morning, graduates, family members, and guests. On behalf of Major General Michael McCurry, Commanding General, United States Army Aviation Center of Excellence in Fort Novosel, welcome to the graduation ceremony for flight school. Would everyone please stand for the invocation and the playing of the national anthem. Chaplain Andrew Dressler will give our invocation.
For those who so desire, I invite you to pray according to your tradition as I pray according to mine. Let us bow our heads. Almighty God, I give you thanks for this day and all that it represents for these graduates. They have spent months honing their skills that have prepared them to leave this place, join their units, and become the highly skilled aviators that this nation expects the Army to produce. What lay ahead of them is a future that resembles an open book with blank pages, waiting to be filled with their deeds and stories. It is my prayer, Lord, that these deeds are always honorable and in service to what is right. Protect their steps, guard their paths, and guide their landings. May they continuously grow as professionals in their craft, bless their families, and may they all remember the joy this day brought to them as they celebrate this accomplishment together. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Please remain standing for the playing of the national anthem. Gentlemen, please remove your headdress. Thank you. You may be seated. Please welcome Lieutenant Colonel Mark Axtell, 1st Battalion, 145th Aviation Regiment.
Good morning and welcome to the graduation ceremony. Family members, friends, and instructors, thank you for your support in commemorating this tremendous occasion. We're delighted each of you can celebrate with us this morning. Attending this ceremony representing the United States Army Aviation Center of Excellence are Colonel Jason Woodward, 1st Aviation Brigade Commander, Colonel Christopher Logsdon, Deputy Commandant for the Army National Guard and Senior Guard Advisor, Colonel Mary Elizabeth Scott, Deputy Assistant Commandant for the United States Army Reserve, Chief Warrant Officer 5, Ed Carman, Senior Guard Advisor to the Deputy Commanding General of the Army National Guard, Command Sergeant Major John Bonilla, 1st Aviation Brigade, Sergeant Major Julian Adams, 1st of the 145th Aviation Regiment. Thank you for joining us. To our newest Army aviators, congratulations on achieving a significant milestone. In just a few minutes, your flight school journey will come to an end as your friends and families pin on the wings you worked so hard to achieve on your chest. I hope they will always remind you of the professional aviators who trained you, the special community you now represent, and the sacred duty we have to support the ground force. The ground force is depending on you to get them where they need to be, when they need to be there, or to protect them from the enemy. And when you find yourself on the receiving end of a desperate plea for help, I know you'll respond, moving heaven and earth to help men and women on the ground, because that's what Army Aviation is all about. We exist to support the ground force. I'm proud of you and eager to see each of you realize your full potential as Army aviators. Before I introduce our guest speaker, I'd like to quickly reiterate the process for pinning our aviators. Your aviator will be called forward, cross the stage, and then stand before the stage to await their family, friends, spouses, or children to come up and pin on their wings. The Master of Ceremony will cue you by saying, "Please come forward to pin your aviator." At that time, please come forward, and you can use any of the aisles and pin the wings on your aviator. Take a moment to celebrate this momentous occasion before returning to your seats. The stage will be available after graduation for you to take as many additional photographs as you would like. This is a defining moment in all of your lives and one you will never forget. Congratulations to you all. Now it is my great pleasure to introduce the guest speaker for today's graduation ceremony. Chief Warrant Officer 5, Nigel Hebshire, is a master aviator with more than 25 years of military service. He originally enlisted as a utility helicopter repairer prior to being accepted into the Warrant Officer Candidate School and then flight school. He is rated in the UH-60 Alpha, Lima, and Mike Black Hawk helicopters and the civilian Cessna 150 and 152 airplanes. During his time in the Army, he has received numerous awards and decorations for his service and served in a number of key positions throughout his career, including instructor pilot, instrument examiner, and company, battalion, and brigade standardization pilot. He also served as the operations officer for a detachment and a detachment standardization pilot for the Supreme Headquarters Allied Powers Europe Helicopter Flight Detachment at Chevis Air Base in Belgium. He currently serves as the 1st Aviation Brigade Command Chief Warrant Officer here at Fort Novosel. Please welcome Chief Warrant Officer 5, Nigel Hebshire.
Ladies and gentlemen, families, special guests, and most importantly, graduates. Welcome, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to address the graduating officers from the Flight School 21 IARW Class 24-016. This ceremony recognizes a pivotal moment in these young officers' careers. Today, each graduate will be recognized as Army aviators and receive those coveted silver wings. Congratulations, you have graduated, but this does not mean you no longer need to study or learn. The best aviators always strive to improve their skills and better themselves. I remember sitting right there in those seats 23 years ago, waiting anxiously to finally pin those hard-earned silver wings on my chest. And at the same time, I was thinking, I sure hope this guy doesn't talk very long. Of course, I don't remember who gave the speech, and I don't remember what he said, and I am well aware that the person giving that speech, that none of you will remember 20 years from now, is me. And understanding that I am the last delay to each of you donning your own set of hard-earned aviator wings, I will keep my remarks brief. The sense of pride and accomplishment when my flight school class was finally pronounced Army aviators still resonates with me and my family. So remember this moment. Remember the instructors that got you here. Remember your families and friends that supported you. And remember your fellow students who helped each other along the way. Throughout your flight hours, travels, and your career ups and downs, the officers and warrant officers sitting to your left, right, front, and back will be there for you. Make sure you are there for them. The Army is a team, and you are now a fully fledged member of that team. You now possess a special skill set that is vital to maintaining the sacred trust with our brothers and sisters on the ground. Since its inception, Army Aviation has provided the Ground Force Commander with the unmatched ability to see, sense, strike, and extend. Our modern aircraft, those aircraft you have become intimately familiar with, contain more computing power and command and control capabilities than my entire brigade operations center 23 years ago. When my classmates and I entered the force, there were no digital cockpits, we had no cell phones, and social media wasn't a thing. The Army was just figuring out PowerPoint. We can debate the merits of some of these technological advancements on another day. Regardless, it was a great time to be in Army aviation. Today, the Army recognizes that as our technology advances, so too must our young officers with their ability to quickly and efficiently operate advanced systems. Now, more than ever, aviators must not only master their profession, but they must understand their role in the more congested and dynamic operating environments where they will work in coordinated effort with ground maneuver forces as well as joint and coalition partners to achieve battlefield success. Due to the complexity of both our own assets and the enemy systems, so much more is expected of our young officers today in regard to the technical and tactical mastery of their platforms than has ever been asked in the past. You were selected to become Army aviators because of your potential to operate these highly complex aircraft in support of the Army mission. You are graduating today because you have demonstrated clearly the understanding of the sacred trust inherent in Army aviation, as well as the skills necessary to build, maintain, and succeed in that vital bond with our ground pounder brethren. Because you now have a firm grasp on military decision-making, commander's intent, and understanding the ground commander's mission, you are now professional Army aviators, not just pilots. Congratulations on a job well done and the lifestyle you have embraced. Major General McCurry, our commander and branch chief, often talks about our motto, above the best, as not about us, but where we operate. Army aviators fly in a domain above America's best on the battlefields below, whether that is by engaging the enemy, air assault, reconnaissance, screen, delivering supplies, or conducting humanitarian assistance missions. Always remember, your mission is to support the ground operation, not the other way around. I'm not going to stand up here and present a lecture on the step-by-step process for how to make decisions, handle every situation, or have a successful career. Every situation and environment is different, and I cannot possibly address every potential scenario. What I can do is give a few thoughts on what worked for me over the course of my own career. My command sergeant major likes to talk about building cohesive teams. You all are entering into the ultimate team sport. Take your job and your responsibilities seriously. After all, the lives and well-being of America's sons and daughters are going to be in your hands. At the same time, don't take yourself too seriously. Be willing to listen to your superiors, peers, and subordinates, and never discount the ideas of your crew chiefs, flight operations personnel, or even refuelers. Great ideas and great efficiencies often come from the most unexpected places. Listen, compromise, and innovate. No matter how many hours you may have, how much you may know, or even how right you may well be, if you are not a trusted member of the team, your message is sure to be lost. Sticking to Sergeant Major's theme, be a person of character. Maintain your integrity in all that you do. As a dependable, honest, motivated, and hardworking officer, you will make yourself that trusted member of the team. Remember, your reputation takes years to build and extensive work to maintain, but only a second to lose. Be competent in all that you do. Your teammates, the people in the back of your aircraft, and the people on the ground, depending on the firepower you bring to bear, are all depending on you having the highest level of competency in the operation of your aircraft. Your unit, from the commander down to the newest soldier, are counting on you to remain current, effective, and lethal in the execution of your duties and responsibilities. Be the subject matter expert, ready to provide the appropriate guidance and support to the commander whenever called upon. Be committed always. Your sense of commitment will dictate your character as well as your competence. Remain committed to your teammates, your unit, and that ground element that is relying on your dedication to see them through. The aviator that is committed to his duties and the mission is the aviator that has the trust and support of his or her unit, and that is the aviator that will get the mission done, the first time, every time. These concepts are not in any regulation or even official Army literature. They are simply my thoughts on how I managed to make it to this stage today. The sacred trust I keep mentioning is why we, Army Aviation, exist. One last thing to put in your proverbial kit bag. Each one of you graduating today also has a sacred trust with your family, loved ones, friends, pets, or otherwise. No one here has gotten to this point or will get through their career without someone loving and supporting them. There are going to be plenty of opportunities for you all to get busy with work, have a no-fail mission come down, or otherwise backburner your loved ones. Never forget the quiet sacrifices they make in order for you to go out and be all you can be. Seriously, make sure you properly prioritize what you have in your life. Like I say to my ALE WOPD class, everyone here will leave the Army someday. The decisions you make from now until that day will determine whether your family leaves with you. Graduates, always embrace, maintain, and nurture all facets of the sacred trust. Now, who's ready to get their wings?
Thank you, Mr. Hebscher, for your inspiring remarks. At this point in the ceremony, we honor those graduates who have excelled in the course. Graduates who are within the top 20% of their class receive special recognition as Commandant's List graduates, honor graduates, or distinguished graduates. The Distinguished Graduate is the title bestowed upon those officers who attain the highest overall scholastic average throughout the entire course of instruction. As the title implies, it is the mark of excellence representing outstanding achievement in academic and flight endeavor. The Distinguished Graduate receives engraved sterling silver wings provided by the Army Aviation Association of America, plus an additional gift from the Military Officers Association of America. At this time, I take pleasure in announcing the distinguished graduates from Class 24016. Lieutenant Patrick Wykes, Distinguished Graduate. Second Lieutenant Wykes is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the Minnesota National Guard. Warrant Officer Jason Sylvie, Distinguished Graduate. Warrant Officer 1 Sylvie is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Please come forward and pin your aviator. We will now recognize the remaining top 20%. Lieutenant Brenton Carnes, honor graduate. Second Lieutenant Carnes is an AH-64 Echo pilot with the South Carolina National Guard. Lieutenant Jakata Jack, honor graduate. First Lieutenant Jack is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Lieutenant Ethan Coster, honor graduate. First Lieutenant Coster is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Please come forward and pin your aviator. Warrant Officer Graham Bulmer, honor graduate. Warrant Officer 1 Bulmer is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the New York National Guard. Warrant Officer Connor Haunold, honor graduate. Warrant Officer 1 Haunold is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Warrant Officer Wyatt Hinesley, honor graduate. Warrant Officer 1 Hinesley is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Warrant Officer Samuel Means, honor graduate. Warrant Officer 1 Means is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Please come forward and pin your aviator. Now we will recognize the remainder of the class in alphabetical order by rank. Lieutenant Joshua Burdick. Second Lieutenant Burdick is an AH-64 Echo pilot with the Utah National Guard. Lieutenant Cameron Cloutier. First Lieutenant Cloutier is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Lieutenant Connor Dufresne. First Lieutenant Dufresne is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the California National Guard. Lieutenant Dylan Edwards. First Lieutenant Edwards is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Lieutenant Justin Mateo. First Lieutenant Mateo is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Please come forward and pin your aviator. Lieutenant McKenna O'Neill. Second Lieutenant O'Neill is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the Maryland National Guard. Lieutenant Logan Peterson. First Lieutenant Peterson is an active duty UH-60 mic pilot. Lieutenant John Perkey. Second Lieutenant Perkey is an AH-64 Echo pilot with the North Carolina National Guard. Lieutenant Brant Raleigh. First Lieutenant Raleigh is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Captain Jacob Rhine. Captain Rhine is an active duty UH-60 mic pilot. Please come forward and pin your aviator. Lieutenant Desiree Rosario. First Lieutenant Rosario is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Lieutenant James Ryle. First Lieutenant Ryle is an active duty CH-47 Fox pilot. Lieutenant Waverly Schnetzler. First Lieutenant Schnetzler is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Lieutenant Jacob Seib. First Lieutenant Seib is an active duty UH-60 mic pilot. Lieutenant Daniel Spetz. First Lieutenant Spetz is an active duty UH-60 mic pilot. Please come forward and pin your aviator. Lieutenant Christopher Walker. Second Lieutenant Walker is an active duty UH-60 mic pilot. Warrant Officer Jordan Archibald. Warrant Officer 1 Archibald is a UH-60 mic pilot with the Utah National Guard. Warrant Officer James Burke. Warrant Officer 1 Burke is a CH-47 Fox pilot with the Michigan National Guard. Warrant Officer James Boyden. Warrant Officer 1 Boyden is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Chief Warrant Officer John Costine. Chief Warrant Officer 2 Costine is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Please come forward and pin your aviator. Warrant Officer Hunter Kreiser. Warrant Officer 1 Kreiser is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Warrant Officer Michael Deneau. Warrant Officer 1 Deneau is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the Louisiana National Guard. Warrant Officer Ryan Endries. Warrant Officer 1 Endries is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the Colorado National Guard. Warrant Officer Mark Graves. Warrant Officer 1 Graves is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Warrant Officer Joshua Harvey. Warrant Officer 1 Harvey is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Please come forward and pin your aviator. Warrant Officer Dylan Jackson. Warrant Officer 1 Jackson is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Warrant Officer Christopher Jamber. Warrant Officer 1 Jamber is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Warrant Officer Charles Jusela. Warrant Officer 1 Jusela is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Warrant Officer Cortland Kuntz. Warrant Officer 1 Kuntz is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Warrant Officer Joseph Novak. Warrant Officer 1 Novak is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the Ohio National Guard. Please come forward and pin your aviator. Warrant Officer Jordan Oliver. Warrant Officer 1 Oliver is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Warrant Officer Joshua Ryer. Warrant Officer 1 Ryer is an active duty CH-47 Fox pilot. Warrant Officer Keith Richardson. Warrant Officer 1 Richardson is a UH-60 Mike pilot with the Kansas National Guard. Warrant Officer Jonathan Rivera. Warrant Officer 1 Rivera is an active duty UH-60 Mike pilot. Warrant Officer Ian Sedler. Warrant Officer 1 Sedler is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Please come forward and pin your aviator. Warrant Officer Carson Street. Warrant Officer 1 Street is an active duty CH-47 Fox pilot. Warrant Officer Dalton Tittle. Warrant Officer 1 Tittle is an active duty CH-47 Fox pilot. Warrant Officer Marshall Ray. Warrant Officer 1 Ray is an active duty AH-64 Echo pilot. Please come forward and pin your aviator. Graduates, please stand. Please join me in a round of applause for the Army's newest aviation warfighters. Would everyone please stand or remain standing for the playing of the Aviation song, Above the Best, and the Army song, The Army Goes Rolling Along. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's graduation ceremony. Thank you for celebrating with us and enjoy the rest of your day. Class leader, please dismiss the class.